camera is crazy. Okay, we're good.
Let's go.
Are we live?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back, episode 3 to The Wire Sports. We've got NFL Week 12. Week 12 of college football is coming down to the wire. We've got MLB free agency is about to heat up. NBA season's happening right now. We got a lot of stuff on the agenda for you guys. So we're just going to get right into it.
Yeah. Excited for a third week? Let's go.
All right, let's start it off. MLB free agency has officially opened. Now, we shouldn't expect to see a lot of big signings happen until later in free agency, until after the owners' meeting. But we just wanted to get into a few predictions real quick, Killian.
Yeah.
First off, let's start off. Obviously, the generational talent is on the market right now. The once-in-a-lifetime player in baseball. Shohei Ohtani, 29-year-old, coming off of UCL, but his bat is still
His bat's still amazing.
He'll be able to pitch not this year but next year. Killian, what do you think the destination is?
Really think that the Dodgers, good spot for him. You know, I mean, the recent playoff just struggles and Kershaw and other pitching struggles in the playoffs. I think the Dodgers might look to find another ace. You know, maybe that'll get them over the hump. And then they're right in town. They're the Dodgers. They're a historic organization. They got a history of winning, and they need another pitcher. I think that makes sense, and I think they're going to make an aggressive push for Ohtani. I think he will go there.
Yeah, I agree. I do think the Dodgers will come out on top. Shohei probably wants to stay in LA. You're playing for probably the second or third biggest organization in baseball, maybe behind the Cubs, definitely behind the Yankees. Nothing like playing in Dodger Stadium. Great place. I do, however, think a sleeper is my Cubs. They've showed they're going to be one of the more aggressive teams in free agency. I honestly just do not think. I think it's going to come down to a bidding war. I just don't think the Cubs are going to have it against an organization like the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Them being in a huge market like that. And so I think my early prediction for his contract, I think he will get $600 million.
Yeah, it's
Not even 500. I think he'll get 6.
It's going to be a lot.
Because Angels are willing to pay him, Dodgers are willing to pay him, Giants are willing to pay him, Mets will pay him.
Yeah.
Pretty much every team in the MLB is going to be taking a swing at him. So we'll see. We're going to skip on over to Blake Snell.
Take a swing.
All right. Blake Snell is coming off, one
He had a
of
really good season last year.
yeah. Obviously, I mean he's just one of the premier pitchers in baseball. Obviously, coming
Dude, he had like a 2-1 ERA.
yeah. The Padres are one of the worst organizations in baseball right now. So what are we thinking as far as a Blake Snell fit?
You know, I thought he was gonna stay with Padres. I still think he could, but with the season that he put up last year, I think other teams are gonna make an aggressive push.
Absolutely.
MLB.com has the potential fit. It says Cardinals, Dodgers, and when you think about the Shohei trade, if the Dodgers don't get Shohei in free agency, I think they could get Blake Snell. I think that would be their guy instead. I think they will get Shohei though, so I think that the Cardinals would probably be most likely landing spot for Blake Snell.
Yeah, I'm absolutely going to have to agree with you here. The Padres still do not have a manager. They're the only team in baseball without a manager, while Angels just introduced Ron Washington. Cubs just introduced Craig Counsell. You miss on probably 2 of the best and biggest names at the manager position in baseball with all that money, and you just got too many stars on your team. I think they're honestly going to be quietly going into a little bit of a rebuild. And the Cardinals are in desperate need of pitching. The Cardinals' pitching last year was definitely what held them back. And then obviously a little bit of a regression from Arenado, a little bit of a regression from a couple of the other guys on the team, Matt Young, all those guys. And just in desperate need of an ace, they'll be definitely willing to throw a huge bag at him. And then lastly, we have Cody Bellinger after 2 majorly disappointing seasons. I believe he's batting I think he was batting in the 198 range.
Yeah, college overtime numbers.
He comes to the Cubs, hits 280, hits for 26 home runs, 97 ribbies. Oh no, he hit 307, 365, 525. He had one of the best seasons. You know, it's going to be a gamble for him because, you know, could be a fluke, but where do we see him go?
It's 525 slugging, right?
Yeah.
I really think he is going to stay in Chicago. They almost made the playoffs last year. Probably should have. I think Chicago's a great organization, and he just flourished there in his first year. I think it's rare to see a player like him leave after 1 year, especially from a good organization like that. If he was at a big-time place like the Dodgers or Yankees, might be different because I feel like that organization is not so more in touch with players. I feel like they're just trying to win and make money. But it seemed like Cubs, great city like Chicago, a great organization. I don't think he's going to leave after a year, so I do think he's going to stay in Chicago, at least for this year.
As much as I would love him to stay in Chicago, and as much as he does love playing in Chicago, I hope the Cubs don't get distracted by Shohei. Because I believe they're also going after the two major Japanese products, notably Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And there's another one of the pitchers is coming up.
What's his name?
Man, I could not tell you.
What's right up there? It's
No,
four.
it's
It's four back up.
It's
You
four.
passed it,
No,
yeah.
it's not.
It's three. Three.
Blake's not, yeah, it's
My
not
bad.
odd.
My bad. Yamamoto.
There's quite a few big Japanese prospects coming up, and I hope the Cubs don't get distracted and forget to bring back in Cody. He was our best player last year, far and away. Would I be surprised if he went to the Giants, though? No. I think that the Cubs are going to try and take. I think the Cubs are going to forget about Cody. He's going to be waiting too long with an average contract from the Cubs, and I think he's going to go to the wayside. I think he's going to sign with the Giants, who are going to throw. They just need someone. The Giants need someone. They're going to throw a big bag at him, and I think the Cubs are going to get distracted with all the Shohei stuff. And don't forget, Cubs have one of the top prospects in baseball, Pete Crow Armstrong, one of the best defensive players in the minor leagues right now. I came up and played a few games, played all right at the center field position. So I would not be surprised if Cody Bellinger left. However, I do not want him to leave. I want Cody to stay. I just love what he brings to this team. Amazing batter, amazing personality. Cody Bellinger.
Amazing.
Yes.
All right. Draymond suspension.
Draymond Green. So a couple nights ago, while playing the Timberwolves, there was a little bit of a scuffle near the sidelines. Draymond got ejected from his second game in almost like 5 games. And then this time, because he got ejected in the Cleveland game for getting into it with Donovan Mitchell, this time he puts Rudy Gobert in a headlock.
Yeah.
What do we think about Draymond? Do you think he's actually adding to the Warriors culture, or do you think he's depriving from it?
Draymond's gonna be Draymond. I think he does bring the energy. I think you do need him on the team because he brings the energy on a night-to-night basis. Obviously getting suspended 5 games is not ideal, but he's gonna stick up for his players. I think Clay did get into the scuffle too, so I think Draymond was trying to defend Clay. Putting Rudy Gobert and not letting him go is a little excessive, but he's bringing the energy every night. And he's been there for a while, and he just kind of does this. The Warriors have won with him. They're going to continue to win with him. And I think you need guys like Draymond at times in a long 82-game regular season to just fire the boys up and give them some extra motivation. So, I think he's a decent fit for the Warriors still. But he does have to tone it down a little bit because he's aging. He's on a big contract. And
Huge contract. 4-year, $100 million contract Draymond's on.
Yes, and he is not that good of a player for that contract. So he's got to do the other things well. He's got to get the team right. He's got to be a leader, and this is not doing that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. He's a staple for the Warriors organization. He's going to be one of those guys that you just kind of remember forever.
Yeah.
When you talk about the Warriors and the Splash Brothers. But right now, Draymond is getting paid $25 million a year.
That's absurd.
It is. I can't believe he asked for that much for the Warriors. Like, as of right now, he will be playing for the Warriors when he is 37 years old.
Getting paid $25 million. 37-year-old Draymond Green will be getting paid $25 million from the Golden State Warriors.
So Draymond not only does he need to bring energy, he needs to bring all of Draymond. He cannot be off the court every other game
Not
or by the second half.
Yeah.
Just because he wants to like get in someone's business. And then you add that to the fact where he's always on the podcast and this has been like a common reoccurrence with him, like violence and stuff. We remember the Jordan Poole incident. You kind of drive, like you kind of have him go to the.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just he just seems like he's doing more bad than good, and then his stats don't back him up. Right as of today, he is efficient. He's averaging 8 points a game, 8.8, and 48% from the field, 45% from three, 5, 6, and then not even a steal and a block a game. And this is supposed to be like your defensive anchor too. I don't know.
Well, they're only playing him 22 minutes. They're paying him $25 million a year, and you're not even paying him, and you're not even playing him 25 minutes a game.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was the game he got kicked out.
Oh.
And then he got ejected from the Cavaliers game
Yeah.
the night before. Yeah.
What about Timberwolves?
Timberwolves. Oh no, I think this was the game that he got ejected. Actually, I think he got ejected in this.
Yeah.
one. 2 minutes into the. Oh my gosh.
It was early. All right.
Yeah.
Let's
Just
move on.
yeah, we'll move on past that.
Draymond Gristle.
Now, getting into the college football segment, new college football rankings are out. What are we thinking? We got to do an underrated and we got to do an overrated. Let's start with the underrated. Killian, what are we thinking?
You guys are gonna think I'm boring because these are my last two picks, but I'm gonna have to say Louisville and Bama again because Bama again is rolling. I'm really excited for this SEC championship, and Louisville has not slowed down since last time we talked about them. I think Louisville's 10, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
10
Yeah.
as of right now.
So I know Missouri did just get a great win over Tennessee, but
win.
again, Louisville probably should be undefeated at this point. I think they should be a little higher than 10. And then Bama, I think you could put over Texas and a couple other teams. I mean, you can't. They're not going to because they lost to Texas. I think Bama's a better team than Texas. And maybe Oregon and Washington. I think Oregon's a little better than Washington. I think that you could put Bama higher. I understand why they can't because of the losses, because they are 9-1 and some other teams are undefeated. But Bama is an underrated team. They're playing really good, and they're going to be scary.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Louisville and Bama are two premier football teams. We're going to be talking about them a little bit later when we predict our college football playoff. You guys stay tuned for that. But, I mean, Louisville's absolutely rolling right now. And it's just been a really exciting year for that program. I guess not really an organization, but that program. And same thing with Bama. Jalen Milroe quietly putting together a really, really great back half of the season. Like, as far as these last 3 games, he's been a top 5 quarterback in all of college football. And that's, I actually think that's really exciting to see. I like having like a little bit of an underdog story coming into it. You know, you play like really, really bad for this historic team, and then all of a sudden you get things rolling. Like, I really like what Milroe's been able to do and how he's been able to grow. Kind of like put some perspective on those Alabama fans that like, yes, you can develop a quarterback during the season. That's a normal thing. Just love these two football teams. Love watching them play. And then, look, they're not underrated because they're still number 3. But Michigan should be the number 1 team in the college football right now. J.J. McCarthy was a Heisman candidate before last week. Now, I think it puts him so far behind in stats that, you know, he can't win it anymore. I don't think so.
Yeah.
They passed it with him 8 times against the number 10. The number 10 team in the nation in Happy Valley. And they won.
Mm-hmm.
And they won. This Michigan team is on a whole nother level. The defense is phenomenal. The run game, Blake Corum is one of the best players in college football. The culture there is amazing. I am so excited for Michigan Ohio State. This is going to be the best game in college football this year. will be Michigan Ohio State at the Big House this year. I am so pumped for that game because you're gonna have two probably. I mean, we'll see today. But two probably undefeated teams playing in the biggest rivalry, one of the biggest rivalries in the sport of college football, and in just all of sports. I'm so excited for that game.
Is this the second year in a row? They'll both be undefeated going into that game.
Yeah, I think maybe even third. They've been really
Ohio
really
State beat them
good
3
the
years.
last. No,
Sorry, 2
Michigan's won the last two. I think they might have won the
Did
last
Michigan
three.
go to the last 2 playoffs? Because Michigan would have gone to the playoffs. Michigan won last year,
Yeah, and the year before.
but were they in the playoff 2 years ago?
I don't remember. Hold on. We're gonna look at this real quick.
We're checking it out. Meanwhile, I will talk about my overrated team, which
Yeah.
I think is Oregon State. I think they have 2 losses. But number 11, really? They lost to Washington State and then some other Pac-12 team. And yeah, just 11 is crazy. So,
Yeah.
Oregon State, number 11. What are we doing, committee?
Yeah.
They have a big game against Washington today. I think they will lose and they'll get exposed. So, yep.
My overrated team is pretty easy here. It's Iowa. The Iowas kind of have like a cupcake schedule so far. They're just playing the absolute worst of the Big Ten right now in some just horrible games. I wholeheartedly believe that every single team in this top 25, minus Kansas probably, maybe minus Tulane, I think every single team is beating Iowa by like 10 plus. Like they are just not very good at football.
They're going to be in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah. Oh, and then by the way, when we're talking about Michigan, Ohio State, so Ohio State had won the previous, I believe it was 8 matchups.
Yeah, and then Ryan Day
beforehand.
because Ryan Day hasn't beaten Michigan.
Ryan Day has not
State,
beat
right?
Michigan, yeah. And then so Michigan has won the last 2.
So Michigan's gone
Matchup.
the last 2 playoffs. Because if they beat Ohio State, they didn't lose that Big Ten championship. They probably went to the playoff, 21-1.
I think they did. Why don't I remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
They lost
yeah,
to
because they lost to Georgia. Oh, that was such a good game.
It's such a weird playoff. Bama, Michigan, Georgia, Cincy. How did Cincy make it?
I mean, they were.
I know they were undefeated, but there was no one else, really.
Yeah, Desmond Ritter, Sauce Gardner.
That actually was a really good Cincinnati team.
Yeah, I know. It's like, well, I mean, Ritter's not very good in the NFL now, but he was
Still,
really good in
Cincinnati.
college. Third round pick quarterback, and then Gardner, who hasn't played good recently. but
so
still-
Michigan has made 2 playoffs.
Yeah, I think this is their year too.
Yeah, they're looking really good.
Been
this year.
saying that. All right, and then staying on top of college football, let's go Heisman rankings. We've got, as far as if you could have a kind of a start bench cut between JT Daniels, Michael Penix,
Jaden Boy,
Jaden. Is that the old Georgia quarterback?
Ohio State.
Oh, JT Daniels. Oh my gosh. Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, Bo Nix. What are we doing? Start bench cut. Let's hear yours first, Killian. Yeah, okay, so, yeah.
Give me Jaden Daniels. Okay, we can't play this.
Yeah, we got banned from.
But no, I mean, Jaden Daniels, 606 total yards, 5 touchdowns. Guys, he's the Heisman winner. He's the Heisman winner. He's the best quarterback in college football. He's the best player in college football. I don't care that we're 7-3.
7-3.
Thank you. I don't care that we're 7-3. He's the best player in college football. He deserves the Heisman. I'm afraid they're not going to give it to him because of Michael Penix, because they're 10-0, but he's a better player than Michael Penix. Players have won it in the past, last 20 years. I think Tebow, Lamar, and RG3 have won it
Yeah.
with more than 3 losses. You got to give it to Daniels. He's the best player in college football, and he's my start for the sake of thing. And then bench, I will take Bo Nix. He's just a solid quarterback. he takes risks, but he doesn't make mistakes. He's poised. I mean, he's been starting for 5 years.
Yeah.
And then cut Penix. I'm not saying Penix is not good. He's probably third or fourth best quarterback in college football. But I'd put Daniels and Nix over him. So yeah, Daniels is the Heisman winner, and he solidified it after Saturday's performance.
Yeah, I mean, Daniels is playing at an extremely high level. He's first in QBR in all of college football. Amazing yards, just really solid. Really, really, you're talking about a great season, and that's only through. I believe that's only through the air too. He's got so much more on the ground. I hesitate to start him though because the 3 losses, and he's having a really, really good season. I feel like I just need one more performance to make it a great one. But as of now, he is my start. He is still my start because I think he's got the ability to do that.
Yeah.
I absolutely do believe that Jaden Daniels is going to absolutely put on the next 2 weeks and solidify his stance. And then I got the same as you. Yeah, Bo Nix, efficient. That's all you can.
Jaden Daniels first QBR.
Yeah. Bo Nix is just efficient. He pushes the ball downfield. Only thrown 2 picks the entire season, which is
incredible.
insane. Look, I know he's been playing college football like forever. Since 2019. He's been playing since we were like in middle school. Like well into middle school. Like
This is
pre-COVID.
5th year.
He's been playing before COVID.
This is 5th year.
So, but I mean, and you talk about the guys he's playing with, I don't think they're nearly as talented as the talent around Penix and Daniels. Great quarterback. And then Penix is last. Everyone is kind of like hyped up on the Penix train. People are wondering.
7 picks.
Yeah, 7 picks. He doesn't play well in big games, in my opinion. I think that, he did clean it up in the Utah game, but I think the running game helped a lot.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite games, favorite watches. And this is a guy who I just do not believe in at the NFL level. I really don't. Daniels has an opportunity to be a really decent quarterback. Nix can be a backup for a long time. Maybe even a plug-and-play guy right off the bat. But Penix, to me, it's just, I don't know, he turns the ball over more than guys do. But he does have one of the better arms in college football right now. He can
Yeah,
play.
he's a great player. He's got a great arm, but I really think he's a little bit overrated. And that's really hard to say because he's a top 5 quarterback in college football.
Absolutely.
It's just like the number 1, the Heisman. I'm cheering it all. Like, just don't think so.
Yeah.
Just don't think he deserves it.
Yeah. I honestly think that if J.J. McCarthy had a better performance, or if they just passed it with them last week, I think he'd still be in this conversation as well.
Yeah, I mean, they trying to kill his chances to throw the ball 60 times. I mean, I know they're trying to win the game, but
I mean, he could be a
I'm
sleeper
sorry.
if he has an insane game against Ohio State, but he would have to have the best game in
Right.
college football history.
I think he also is. I think they're just he's more so up there because of their record and not because of their stats. And I think at this point, because you have other guys that have a record of 10-0, Penix,
Yeah.
it's just not gonna be good.
Yeah,
I don't think McCarthy.
McCarthy, second in QBR. Obviously, they play off that run game a lot. The junior is a really, really great quarterback. He's going to be an interesting guy to see, does he come back for his senior year? Or does he, if he
Does
wants
he
to
go?
get an opportunity to pass the football more?
And a
Are
little.
we talking about a J.J. McCarthy transfer? Or is he too invested in that culture? That is something that we can talk about later.
Yeah.
Let's just get into picks. Let's get straight to it. Let's go. First game that we got, I believe this is a 2:30 Eastern game. Utah, Arizona. These teams are both. Utah proved that they're still a very good football team last week with a very, very close game against Washington at Washington. However, Arizona is looking to make their mark in college football. It's one of their better seasons in a very, very long time. They're playing at home. Killian, who do we have?
Well, we got Utah. Arizona has had a really good season, but just Utah, they just win. They win the games they need to. They played great last week. They're right there with the big boys, Oregon and Washington. I don't think Arizona is there yet. It's at Arizona, but that really doesn't mean anything because it's Arizona football. So I think Utah's going to get the win. They played really good in recent weeks, even though they've lost a couple games. And yeah, I think they'll get the win.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the best games of the week. I am just so. I'm very, very excited to see how this game goes. However, I do think I'm going to pick Arizona in this game. It's just you can't lie against 4 wins in a row. And they really should have 5 because they should have beat USC. The referees in that game were terrible. Whatever. And they're playing at home. I like Arizona in this game, but I do think this is going to be a really great football game. Next, Georgia at Tennessee. Georgia's coming to Rocky Top. Tennessee always shows out against Georgia, it seems, year after year, but what are we thinking?
What are you thinking?
Well, I'll go first, I guess. I definitely think Georgia's going to blow them out. Georgia's playing at the top of their game right now. Their offense has never looked better. Their defense, it's the same Georgia defense. They are, in my opinion, the second best team in college football as of now, until Alabama beats them in the SEC championship. But Tennessee just does not have it. They don't. I was right. I've been right about them every single week. And I was right about them tenfold last week when they lost to Missouri in embarrassing fashion. Tennessee is one of the most overrated teams in college football. The only reason that they're going to have 8 wins this year is because they're playing the worst team in Power 5. They're playing Vanderbilt. Absolutely horrible team. I love the Doors, but we're just kind of waiting for baseball season in Nashville. Georgia is going to show why they're number 1 once again. Killing, just give your pick.
So, Georgia played a great game last week. They beat Ole Miss 51-17.
Top 10 team, by the way.
Georgia's been rolling. They're 10-0. Haven't lost in 3 years. But I just can't root for Georgia. Give me the balls, baby. Oh, hold on. Let's go. Hold on. I didn't even show the logo. Give me the balls, baby. Let's go.
All right.
Yeet.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion on this show.
Now, hold on. Hear me out. Okay. I know this is a hot take. This is a scorching hot take.
This is an insane
However,
hot take.
First of all, I can't root for Georgia. I can't root for them.
I know you can't root for
suck.
Georgia, but that shouldn't affect your pick.
That's not a valid reason. But my actual reason. Georgia's hardest road test this year was against Auburn at Auburn. This is an awful Auburn football team, and Georgia won by 7. It was 27-20. Georgia has already won the East. They are already thinking ahead to Bama. They have not had a hard road test this year. The one hard road test they only beat Auburn by 7. Tennessee's frustrated from last week's loss. That game should not have been the blowout that it was. Tennessee made some mistakes, and the score got away from them. That was a much closer game than the score says. Tennessee is a good football team with an explosive offense. And Carson Beck and this Georgia team has not faced a hostile crowd like Tennessee. Tennessee's going to get up, and they're going to surprise them, and they're going to beat them.
I absolutely disagree. I think Missouri won that football game. I don't think as much as Tennessee lost it. Cody freaking Schrader. I was watching this game last week. Talk about a guy who has eaten up every single freaking touch. The senior comes from D2 football. He absolutely dominated an SEC defense. This is a guy who is a D2 transfer. I believe he transferred from. He was at a lower level.
He was at a D2.
No, he was at a D2 and then he went to a D1. But it was a low level D1. I forget where he's from. Whatever. He played out of his mind in that game. The entire team did. I think Missouri's got a really good football game. They just let a couple games get away from them. And Tennessee just, I can't trust you to win with Joe Milton. He had the insane throw during that game. I don't know if you saw it.
Great throw to go up. Put him up. First
But
touchdown again.
that was their whole offense. They can't push the ball down the field because Milton isn't accurate. That was the most accurate throw I've ever seen from Milton. It was at the receiver's feet. I don't know. Kansas State at Kansas. Kansas again having another sneakily good season after last year, making a bowl game, looking to build on it and beat, one of their biggest, if not their biggest rivals. Coach Stidham will be watching this game at home, rooting for the Jayhawks, but
He's a Kansas fan?
he's a huge Kansas fan.
Oh
Huge Kansas fan. He's excited for this one. Can't even say the name of the other school.
Kansas basketball?
But unfortunately, what?
Kansas basketball?
He's everything Kansas, man.
Well, yeah. Like Kansas basketball, that'd be good, but not.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're talking football here. We're talking football right now. We'll talk college basketball later in the year. But Kansas State, I believe, will be the winner in this game. Look, Kansas is good. They're not great. It's the same thing every year. And I think Kansas State has just let a couple games really just get away from them. They're ranked. I believe these are both ranked teams right now. If I'm not correct.
Yeah, Kansas is.
So I think this is going to be a really good football game. But I'd probably have to go Kansas State here.
Yeah, I got Kansas State. Like, Jason Bean is Kansas's quarterback.
And bro's name is Jason Dean. He also plays for Kansas football.
Why? What?
Look, it's Kansas, bro. Like, the Kansas, they already pulled their magical upset against Oklahoma. Their magic's gone. Kansas State's going to win. Let's move on.
All right. Washington and Oregon State. Colin, who is unfortunately not here with us this week, he'll be in Miami for the Miami-Louisville game and then for the Dolphins game this weekend as well. I believe they're playing the Raiders. He picked Oregon State in this game. I don't know why. He was just in our overrated section not too long ago. I'm going Penix and the boys in this one. They played a phenomenal game. They were playing the game I was waiting to see out of them since the Oregon game. They played a phenomenal game against Utah. Loved watching that team play. They're at Oregon State. I don't think that's got the swing that Colin says it does. I think I'm just going to go Washington here. It's hard. Look, I know we just kind of dogged on Penix a little bit, but I mean, you're still playing Michael Penix. It's still going to be a hard game. And he had probably one of his best games, if not his best game, last week.
Yeah, they got the big dub against Utah last week. It was at home. It was a 7-point win, but their cornerback did drop a touchdown. Like literally at the 2-yard line, dropped it, and Utah got it. So that would have been.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
I was watching that. It was very funny because I wanted Utah to win. But Washington's a
I
good.
picked him that week.
Yeah, Washington's a good team. I think Oregon State is overrated, but Washington has looked shaky in recent weeks. Even their big win against Oregon. Again, I've talked about this a lot, but if Oregon scores one or kicks 2 field goals, because they had 2 chances inside the 10 that they got stopped, they win the game. I know Washington had a chance inside the 10 if they got stopped, but anyways, Oregon had one more chance inside the 10. If they punch it in, they win the game. Yeah, Washington's been shaky. I think they will win, but upset wouldn't be shocking.
Yeah.
It is at Oregon State, and Oregon State is 11 for I don't know why, but if they are what the committee says they are, this will be a really good game, and this could be an upset alert.
Yeah.
I don't think it will happen. I think Washington will win, but tune into this one. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah. All right, next one we got UNC at Clemson. Going to Death Valley. Clemson kind of hot in the last 2 weeks. Had a couple, sneaky wins there. Killian, what are we thinking?
Well, yeah, if they were actually going to Death Valley, this would be a different story, but they are going to Clemson. So I think UNC will get the win.
So kind of doing like the real Death Valley thing there. Look, I get it. Whatever, it's not the real Death Valley, but it is still a very tough home environment. UNC kind of like squeaked out a win against unranked Duke last week. They lost to Georgia Tech. They lost to Virginia.
It's been shaky.
Drake May is kind of like on a game-to-game. Is he going to play well? Is he not? I'm got to say, look, I don't love this Clemson team by any means possible. I really don't. I dogged on Clemson not even 2 weeks ago.
Dog.
But you know what?
They lost to NC State a couple weeks ago as well.
Look what they beat Notre Dame.
But they beat Notre Dame. And they beat Georgia Tech, who UNC lost to.
Dabo's got the boys fired up. I don't like the way Dabo runs this football team nowadays. Whatever, I could talk about Dabo. for as long as possible. But I just have to go with Clemson in this game. And Klubnik had a phenomenal game last week. One of those games that you're just like, that's it. That's the guy. That's the player we've been waiting for. Yellow Jackets really only scoring garbage time.
Yeah.
Last week. Dominant performance, and I know it's a 5-5 team, but let's keep in mind this is a team
That beat
that
UNC.
beat UNC recently.
Beat UNC?
I think Clemson's playing with a lot more to prove. I'm going with my friend Colin as well as picking Clemson in this game. I'm going Clemson over UNC.
One more thing I want to say about this game is if UNC wins this game and Louisville loses to Miami, that UNC is in the ACC championship.
Yeah.
So I think that also I think would be the extra motivation for UNC. But that's just like generally like this is actually a really important game. So this will be after Louisville Miami because Louisville Miami is at 11, and if Miami pulls the upset, then you need to tune into this UNC game because this is going to determine whether Louisville goes or UNC goes.
Yeah.
So it's a big game, especially if Miami beats Louisville.
Speaking of Louisville, Miami, that's our next game on the docket.
Yes.
It's very huge ramifications in college football. This one has huge ramifications in the playoff. Louisville looks strong outside of the Virginia game last week.
They got the win.
What are we thinking?
I think that Virginia game last week showed a lot. They were down 7 in the fourth quarter. This Virginia team they upset UNC a couple weeks ago, but that showed a lot for Louisville to be able to come back at the win. They played them on Thursday night too. It's a weird week. There were so many excuses they could have made if they lost, but they didn't. They came together and they won, and I think that's a characteristic of a good football team, that you can win when you're not supposed to. You can just pull out a win. That being said, this Miami team is scary. They just beat Clemson. It's at Miami. It's 11. I think Louisville's looking ahead to Florida State. And this is going to be a really good game, and I could see an upset happening. However, because of Louisville's grittiness last week, I think they will pull it out again this week and get the win. But it's going to be a great game, and an upset could easily happen here. There should be some great games today in upset alerts.
Look, Louisville's playing some great football. It's kind of week to week with Louisville as it is with every team in college football.
Yeah.
We've seen it with Alabama. Has been a week to week team this year. Even Georgia at times. Now, you're going to Miami. You're playing at Hard Rock, which really isn't a true college football environment, I will say, but it is away.
Oh, wait.
And then they played. What?
Collins in the same stadium.
2 days in a row. Now, Louisville, you just distracted me. Louisville played at Cardinal Stadium against Virginia last week. Virginia's not very good. It's a very close game. Now, I just feel like picking an upset today. You know what? My picks were hot last week. I missed one last week. Let's just keep it rolling. I'm gonna pick another underdog. Let's go Canes. Let's go Miami. I think Miami pulls out a very, very close upset. Let's go.
Yeah, I can see that happen.
Absolutely. All right, week 11. First, let's talk about Thursday night.
NFL.
Let's talk about Thursday night, and then
That's actually after week. Wait, that's actually week 12. So you're skipping ahead, son.
what? I don't know.
We got two.
Let's review week 11.
Bengals have played twice since I said they were the best team in the AFC. They have lost to the Texans and the Raiders throughout this time span, and they have lost their starting quarterback as well. So that did not age well.
Yeah, CJ Stroud is playing at a very, very high level, almost an MVP level. I'm not going to say that I know everyone's right now, the Panthers should have taken CJ Stroud. No. I sent Killian this graphic the other day. Bryce Young is number 1 in accurate passes and dead last in open receivers. This is a program. This is an organizational fault on Bryce Young. Do not give up on Bryce Young. And I do think CJ Stroud's a talented quarterback. He'd be playing at the exact same level in Carolina right now. That being said, I love the way he's playing for the Texans. I can't lie. I like watching good football. I'm a football fan. Absolutely phenomenal win over the Bengals last week. You know, if the Jaguars continue to play at like kind of this like really bad level that they played against the 49ers with, you could see the Texans kind of, I don't know. They've already got quite a few losses on their hands, but maybe they could sneak in.
They're bottom 4.
We'll see.
I think they are
We'll see.
more likely to shot out of the division than wild card.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's
what I meant.
such a weird thing to say, but I think they have a better chance of that because
It's AFC South.
Yeah.
Every team has a better shot at the division than they do at the wild card.
Wait, Bryce Young. That's what it was. This Bryce Young CJ Stroud thing. I mean, again, I don't know why we're all hitting the panic button on Bryce Young. It's his first year. He's around a bad team. This really reminds me of what was it?
Trevor Lawrence,
Joe-
Joe Burrow,
This reminds me of the Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert.
Elway,
rookie year. Herbert-
Manning.
Manning.
Manning was number
Yes,
one in picks.
Manning had it, yes, okay. What? Oh, crud. What? Burrow, Herbert. Sorry. Yeah, so Herbert was picked after Burrow, obviously. And Herbert had a great rookie year. And everyone was like, oh, should they pick? And then Burrow got hurt. And they were like, oh, should Bengals have picked Herbert over Burrow? What about Burrow? What about this? And then the next year, he exploded to take them to the Super Bowl. Do I think Bryce Young will take the Panthers to the Super Bowl next year?
No,
My point
absolutely
is that,
not.
My point is that he's got a bad team around him. If he is, and the Texans, I really don't know how they got the number 2 pick. I don't know how they were this bad this year, but that bad last year.
It's free agency.
They have a
man.
ton of young talent. The organization did a great job.
D'Amico freaking Ryan.
number
We gotta
2
talk about D'Amico Ryan.
2 and 3 picks, right? Picks
Yeah,
number 2
they had picks number
Yeah.
2 and number 3
So they
because
got-
they traded up, I believe.
Right, they got C.J. Stroud, one of the best quarterbacks out there. And then the best defensive player in college football last year, Will Anderson. He's playing a great year. And then John Mechie comes back from leukemia. And so another first-round pick, because they basically had 3 first-round picks.
Mechie, Nico Collins. You also got to talk
Yeah.
about the rookie Tank Dell. I mean,
They got a lot of talent, a lot of underrated talent, and Bryce Young doesn't have that. So
Damon
I
Pierce.
don't think anyone should panic on Bryce Young. I think we're just really quick to pull the trigger nowadays on the panic button.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's his first year, guys. The one concern I do have is his height.
Yeah, it's just
Like
frame.
it's starting to show a little bit. I didn't think it was gonna be a problem. I still don't because of what he did at Alabama, and just tearing up those SEC defenses and carrying Alabama last season. And that's why I still have faith in this kid because of what he did. I mean, he was the best Alabama quarterback I've ever watched. And he absolutely shredded SEC defenses and single-handedly won 2 or 3 games. Almost single-handedly won the LSU game. And obviously the clip that I'm thinking of is when he evades 3 sack attempts, rolls out, and hits whatever, the Alabama wide receiver down the
He's a
sideline.
playmaker.
You know,
He's just having to force too much.
Yes. When they get the right guys around him, he is going to do what he did at Alabama, and he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Guy's 22.
He's an absolute playmaker, and he's going to show it. Just not right now. It's his rookie year. Don't give up on him yet.
Once Frank Reich gets fired, once the general manager gets fired, and we actually bring in some real competent coaching and general managing, I think we're going to be looking at a fun Panthers team to watch for the next couple
Yes.
of years.
All right. Let's run through the.
Let's run through the
Other
rest of these
picks.
games. Past or not? Or are we going to do the rest of the review?
Yeah, we'll go. Vikings got the win over Saints. Josh Dobbs looking good. 49ers dominant win over Jaguars.
Dominant.
This is kind of what we saw last week. 49ers solidify themselves as a great team, getting back on track. Browns squeaked out a win against the Ravens. However, Deshaun Watson out for the year. So,
Kind of ruins their chances.
Right.
Don't like DTR. PJ Walker, Panthers legend, won't be able to do it for
I
him.
agree. Broncos got the win over the Bills. Bills looked really bad. This is an awful win. Awful loss for the Bills.
Awful loss.
I mean, this is terrible. I think it might be time to hit the panic button for the Bills after I just said don't hit the panic button too early. But this is not too early. The Bills have been looking terrible the last couple of weeks, and then you lose to the Broncos at home on Monday night. It's capped off by them missing a field goal to lose the game, and you having 12 men on the field. They retake the field goal and win. This is an awful loss, and the Bills are. I'm terrified if I'm a Bills fan because you're not going to get a title with Josh Allen. You're not. And I don't know where you go from here. But you're not going to get a title with Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think we're kind of looking at sort of a Warren Moon situation with you know what I'm saying? With Josh Allen. He's got the arm. He's great in some big moments, but Warren Moon, a little bit notorious for throwing picks. He's still a great NFL quarterback. He just never was able to get over the hump. I absolutely agree. I'm
gonna come down on Josh Allen. Like, he's been playing bad. He is not careful with the football. He fumbles the ball. He throws the ball way too hard. And you saw it against the Broncos. He has wide open receivers, and he just tries to show off the arm, throw it in there as hard as he can, and the receivers can't catch it. And he threw 2 picks because of it. Gabe Davis throws it high, throws it as hard as he can, goes off Gabe Davis's hands into the Broncos' safety's hands. They get the pick. He is not careful with the football. He's careless with the football. He's like
Absolutely.
9 or 10 picks this year. He did this last year. He made up for it because they won a lot of games. And then when he plays a game that counts against the Bengals, it happens again. The Bills lose. He's not careful with the football. They're not going to win unless he's.
It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. All right, let's go. Week 12 NFL. We're gonna go first game on the docket: Ravens versus Chargers. Lamar will wait. What the heck? Oh yeah.
Yeah, sorry. We talked about Thursday night. Ravens got a big win. Bengals season's basically over. Joe Burrow's done. I have no idea who the
Ravens
backup
versus
quarterback
Chargers is
is.
next week.
No, recap. Sorry. Yes. So Bengals Ravens was week 12. Oh, Ravens Chargers is next week. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Whoops, my fault.
All right, we'll just move on to Bears versus Vikings. NFC North. Love this division. Love watching these guys play, but unfortunately, you got Justin Fields coming back. Unfortunately, Justin Fields. Tyson Bagent wasn't much better. I think Justin Fields is better than Tyson Bagent.
Yes, Justin Fields.
Can't go against the Pastronaut though.
Pastronaut.
Let's go. Let's keep it rolling with Dobbs. I got the Vikings in this game pretty easily.
Dobbs playing really well, and I think Vikings will win. I think this is a really telltale. This is gonna be a really important game for Justin Fields' career. All of a sudden.
Yeah.
Because, and I've talked to my fellow Bears fans about this, but if you're the Bears and you get the number 1 pick, do you take Caleb Williams? Do you take a quarterback?
You take Marvin Harris. They're going to have. I mean, in my opinion, I think we're looking at the Bears are going to have 1 and 2 because they got the Panthers pick.
Yeah.
Panthers will finish 1-16.
1 and 2.
Book it.
That's insane.
Book it. They will finish with 1 win this year.
Over C.J. Stroud.
1 win. That's it.
Over
This team is so bad. I don't know. No, we're not going to talk about it because they are horrid.
All right, Bears.
But let's go back to Bears Vikings. They just cannot compete right now. The organization's a mess, and they got to take a quarterback.
Really? Gotta take a quarterback.
I don't know. I mean, you're so devoid of talent that, maybe you trust Justin Fields getting better, but
Yeah. Look, I think
you've got a chance to get kind of I don't know if he's necessarily a generational guy, but very, very good quarterback in Caleb Williams.
yes.
Guy playing without a defense, but you know what? I don't know. It's gonna be a tough. They could even. Is there a scenario where they trade down?
Definitely. Certainly. I
And
think
get a ton of
Certainly.
draft capital. I
Certainly.
mean, there's a lot of things the Bears can do.
Yeah, I think that number 1 pick is so big this year because everyone's so high on him. But I don't think you can give up on Fields this early because that really just puts you in a hole with a slightly better quarterback that sets him back. Caleb Williams right now is at best the same as Justin Fields right now.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams has a higher upside, but Caleb Williams as a rookie is about the same as Justin Fields is right now. So I don't think you can do that because you're just gonna blow the number 1 pick on just. You wouldn't go anywhere. What would you do with Fields? If you could get a trade package for Fields, maybe. But still, I think Fields is fine. I think he's fine. He's an explosive player, and he showed that last year. I know the record was terrible, but he has a bad team around him, and I think this can really be an opportunity to build around him, and then you're really going to see where Fields is.
Just not wasting any capital on quarterback is
The quarterback
just
that
the
you just
hardest position to
Yeah.
draft. But yeah, we both have the Vikings in that game. Titans versus Jags. Will Levis, bad game. Bad game against the Bucks. All of a sudden, nobody's talking about him again. I don't think Will Levis is the guy. I think that 4 touchdown thing was a fluke. As I said.
He did say it.
Duval, they're gonna win.
I think the Jags are going to win too. The score got away from them last week in the 37-3 game. They had some fluke turnovers in the red zone. Niners are a good team. I don't think they would have won anyways. But the Titans, I just don't think they can beat
Titans are
like,
bad.
a disciplined team like the Jags. I'm not giving up on Levis just yet.
I'm not giving up on him. I'm just saying we gotta slow down on the Levis train.
Yeah, the Bucs have a great defense, and
I can only imagine Levis with the Panthers right now. Okay, sorry.
Bucs have a great defense. I think Levis is a solid quarterback. He's still figuring things out. I think Titans will figure things out. Not this week. Probably not this year. I think the Jags are going to win this game, and I think Jags or Texans are going to win the division.
Yeah.
But I don't think Titans will.
Next one, Jets versus Bills. Just a bad game.
Ooh.
I just don't want to watch this game.
So, throwback to week 1 when the Jets lose Aaron Rodgers on the fourth play.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
that was pretty. That was
the
pretty,
Bills
a little bit of a
proceed-
2-minute performance from Rodgers there.
And Bills proceed to turn the ball over 4 times and lose on a game-winning punt return. I think that
Great
does
game.
Sum up the Bills' season a little bit. I think that it still. I remember watching that game. It was a great game. I don't know how the Bills lost. And I've picked the Bills. I really don't know. I want to pick the Jets, but I don't trust in Zach Wilson.
I'll
wanna-
pick the Jets.
I want to pick the Bills, but I don't trust in this Bills offense against the great Jets defense. I really don't know. I'm picking the Bills because it's at Buffalo. And this is like my least certain pick of the week. This is awful. It's an awful pick. So.
Jets are a fantastic defense, and I think it's going to get them a win. I mean, it's just like the Bills are just so awful. For what should be an elite team, if we're talking about teams that we thought were going to be elite,
Yeah.
they're just awful by that standard. I just don't want to watch this game. I don't. I really don't. I'm kind of dreading watching that game, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Easily pretty much going with the Bills there. What the heck is this?
Vikings over the Broncos. Russell's deleting it, so we're moving on to the Eagles Chiefs.
Because we already
Monday
talked
Night
about
Football.
Bears Vikings. Who are the Vikings playing this year?
My bad. Hold on. Who are the
Who are the Vikings playing?
Whoops.
I guess we're in a little bit of a shambles. Okay, they are playing the Broncos this week.
Whoops.
Uh-oh.
I've got the Vikings for the next 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, same here. Well, actually, no.
Eagles.
Actually, I forget. I'm going to go back on that. I really love Patrick Surtain. I like this defense. Russell Wilson's playing really great. Look, call Russell Wilson corny, call him whatever, call him bad quarterback, blah. I don't care. He's having a good year. I let Russ cook. Russell Wilson's one of my favorite quarterbacks, one of my favorite personalities in the NFL. I think he's so funny. Give me Mr. Unlimited to win this game.
I'm gonna pick the Vikings. The pastronaut, the aerospace engineer himself, is gonna get the win. And let's move on to Eagles Chiefs.
Oh, excited for this game. So excited for this game.
A matchup of the century.
Oh,
I really don't.
Super Bowl rematch.
I don't know who's gonna win this game.
Kelsey versus Kelsey. I can tell you who's going to win this game. I can tell you right now. It's going to be Eagles. Eagles. Look,
Really?
I just don't like the way Mahomes is playing. Mahomes, the media is trying to indoctrinate you that Mahomes is still playing like the best quarterback in the NFL right now. He's not. He's not playing very good at all, actually. He didn't play good against the Dolphins. This really good Chiefs defense is consistently bailing him out.
Oh yeah, sorry.
And I think, obviously, they're like, well, the defense was still able to get a win against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are the best offense in the league. No, they're not. No, they're not. The Eagles have way more of a balanced attack. It's like a balanced breakfast, when you think about the Eagles. And I just don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to handle it, especially if Mahomes isn't throwing touchdowns and being the kind of guy that he is. The Eagles defense is playing really good right now. Give me the Eagles. In Kansas City, too.
Yeah.
I'd still take the Eagles.
Yeah. So, I'm terrified for this game. I am
Scary game
horrified.
for an Eagles
I'm
fan.
horrified because of recent games. I was at the Cowboys game. I think I had like 4 heart attacks that game.
Good win, though. I mean, that was Prescott's easily his best game of the year.
Yeah, but what I do feel good is that, Prescott played the Cowboys played excellent in that game, and we
Played so good.
and we still won.
That's so, yeah.
And we still won.
Cowboys played easily their best game of the year.
Yeah, that was the best game I've seen Prescott play. maybe since his rookie year. He was careful with the ball. He took risks. He hit on them. They hit deep shots, and we still won. And I think that tells a lot about this Eagles team. I have no idea how we won. They had first and goal at the 5 with 25 seconds left, down 5. This defense, they just step up and make plays.
Mm-hmm.
They step up and make plays. And they win.
Absolutely.
The concern I have is that in recent weeks it has been closer than I would have liked, but we still win. It's just, I hate and I love this team because even when we win, I'm concerned, but we consistently win these close games. So I think this is going to be a close game, and I trust the Eagles to win because that's what we've done all season, is that we've won in close games. And the Chiefs haven't really done that.
Shout out to sexiest man in the last second place, Jason Kelsey. Next,
First
Steelers
Did
versus.
Travis win?
Travis
Travis got
wasn't in it.
Oh,
I don't know who won,
Oh.
but Jason was second place. I know that.
Rip. Well, I'll
Shout out New Heights podcast. It's my favorite podcast in the game right
Is it?
now.
Well,
Y'all got it.
Okay.
Besides ours.
Aw.
Besides ours. Like I don't. You think I watch our own podcast? I'm a part of it.
You gotta watch it. You gotta tune.
You guys gotta watch it. You guys gotta tune in. You guys gotta hit the bell. Make sure you're subscribed.
We have a shout.
Go to the Instagram as well. Kind of like a little plug there. But
Plug.
okay. Steelers versus Browns. Look, DTR is like one of the worst starting quarterbacks that you could possibly have. He threw 3 picks in his last start. Didn't eclipse 200 yards. He threw like 50%. I am definitely going with the Steelers defense. And then if you didn't see, Mike Tomlin has actually publicly challenged Kenny Pickett to take more risks, to just be a better quarterback. Do we see a Kenny Pickett legacy game? I don't think so.
No, we didn't.
But I
What?
think he's got something to prove in this game against a really good
I
defense.
question why Tomlin says that against this defense, because this is a team that you want to be careful with against the ball with, especially when you have a Browns offense who is terrible.
He's just
Which is
asking him to
terrible.
make more plays.
Yes, I get that, and Pickett is
Tough to do with Canada.
Pickett is way too conservative, but the Steelers are 6-3, and they're playing a great Browns team. This is a game you have to be conservative because the Steelers defense is amazing and the Browns offense is awful. If the Steelers score like 14 points, they're gonna win the game. You gotta be conservative with. That's awful. Imagine.
This is gonna be a rough game.
Imagine your offense.
It's gonna be some old school football.
Yeah, your defense hearing that, hey, if you give up 14 points, you're gonna lose the game. That's what the Browns defense is facing this week.
Yeah.
As good as the Browns defense is, this Browns offense is so bad that the Steelers are gonna win. Steelers are gonna win.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right, last one.
Let's
This is our Take a Stance segment right here. Last segment of the day. Let's go. We're going to have who is going to be in your college football playoff at the end of the line. We'll kind of go with our number. We'll go place by place from 4 up. We'll go 1 down to 4. Our number 1 teams are the same. Who you got?
Michigan. Oh, how do I do that?
Wolverines.
Michigan, let's go.
Big M. I think they go undefeated. I think they win this week. I think they win next week in the big house in dominant fashion, by the way. I do think they will dominate that game. Just a great team. Great football team.
There's Oregon, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Number 2 teams. Who's your number 2?
Oregon, I think they'll be upset Washington and the committee. Would they be number 2 though? Scratch that. I have them at 3. I'll have Florida State at 2.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me. My number 2 is Bama. I think they jump because I got a lot of teams losing in kind of like embarrassing fashion. I think Bama. I don't think there's a team I like more than Bama watching playing college football. I really don't. And I'm a Vanderbilt fan. I'm an SEC football guy. You know, I know I'm not technically supposed to like Bama. I'm not supposed to like anybody in the SEC, but I really like Bama. I really like watching them play. And I just see them winning in a neutral site game against Georgia. We'll see how Georgia plays on the road again this week. But I gotta love them. I think Roll Tide keeps on rolling. And then, so, Killian, you already mentioned your number 3.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, shoot, you did a lot of
Audible. So Florida State is going to 2 because they'd be undefeated. Alabama's now moving to 3, and Oregon is now my 4. So there we go. That's it. That's my 4.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, and then I'll go quick through mine.
Controversial.
Oregon is my 3. I do think they beat Penix, and they are the number.
It's 11.
They're the number 5 team. They're the number 5 team right now. I think they're going to win that game. Bo Nix is going to play an absolutely incredible game. They're going to be the Pac-12 champions. Move up to 3. Then at 4, I've got the Texas. I think that they're going to win the Big 12 championship, and I don't think they're going to let Louisville hop Texas just by the way that things have been going this year. Shout out Louisville. I think they'll win the ACC. I think they've got a chance. Well, I guess not anymore because I'm picking Miami this week. I think they're going to be left out. I got Texas,
So you're saying,
and then Quinn Ewers will come back, and they'll win the game.
so you're saying Louisville's going to beat,
No, I'm saying
lose to Miami and then beat Florida State? Because that would put Texas in. If they lost Miami.
if they lose to Miami, they're out. They're out.
You're saying like-
because they'll have 2 losses. They can't make the playoffs. with 2
Right,
losses.
but you're saying they will then beat Florida State? Or you think?
No.
Will
Well,
Florida State-
yes, I do think that. Yes.
Yes, then yes, I agree. Then if that scenario happened, Texas be in.
Yeah. Because I think
Because-
this is kind of like a trap game for them, to be honest.
Louisville?
Yeah, because they're
Yeah.
looking forward to
I
just
agree.
getting
And
out of the season. The Kentucky game. Or, no, it's not Kentucky. Who do they play?
Florida State. They're ready to play Florida State. They're
Yeah.
trying to get to the ACC championship and play Florida State. Speaking of Louisville, Miami,
Oh, yeah, they play
kickoff
Kentucky.
is now. So y'all tune in. We're gonna end this. Thank
Yeah.
you for a great episode. See y'all next week.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Hit the bell notifications. Follow the Instagram.
Follow the Insta. We'll be posting stuff.
Go follow New Heights Podcast as well. We're out. See you guys. Episode 3. That's it. It's over.
It's not over yet.
Okay. Maybe it's not.
I don't know how to end it. Wait.
This